pointing whatsoever of what had happened in council on that specific discussion. And we had a relationship since my school days at Saubra. And we just take it up when I got into council again. We had, ons het mekaar genoem bakkie maat, wat aankom van uit my Saubra daar uit, speaker. En vandag kan ek net sê, familie en die kinders en die gesin en die verbreë familie, alle sterkte. Soos die vorige sprekers daarna verwys het, ons het 'n waardige raadslid verloor. Julle het 'n steunpilaar in julle familie verloor. Hambagasle, my friend, my bakkie maat, Jovan Brendes. Dankie, speaker.
Baie dankie, Raadslid Cliffy. The next honorable Councillor Nossi Pobelo. Nossi, you can take the floor.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I just want to greet all of the councillors there. And I greet you also, Speaker. There's only some things that I want to say about Councillor Jovan. Councillor Jovan, he was so wonderful. I've learned a lot from him. He gave you hope when you are hopeless. He gave you strength where there's no strength. He always encourages us. In all of this, in council, I've learned a lot from him, starting from the chief whip side when he was the chief whip. He was so in order. He put everything in order, telling us what to do or not do. He showed us the way. I will remember him with his humbleness. In the MPEC committee, when I was with him there, he showed me so many things that I didn't know of. And I've learned from him a lot. He always say when he came into a caucus room, he will shout and say, Bobelo, today you just look like your brother, Matthews. And he will put his hands on my shoulders. And he said, everything will be okay. My leader, go well. We will miss you. We will miss you a lot. Thank you for your teachings. I'm very grateful. And to the family side, please take heart and be strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Nossi. I think they in heaven, matches will be very proud of what you've said this morning. The volgende is Councillor Rosina Reiters. Hartelijk tos.
Baie dankie, Speaker, vir die geleentheid. Ek en Jovan se paaie het gekruis in die 80s, toe ons saam by Saubra was. Na dit in die 90s, in 1991, toe ek 'n straat onder hom kom bly het in die Fair, uitbreiding 13, het ons mekaar beter leer ken. Jovan het op 'n tyd in my straat gebly, en elke keer as hy in die pad afkom, het hy nooit verbygeloop, het altyd ingekom as hy met kar sien staan het en geweet het ek is by die huis. Soveel meer dat die bure al gevra het, lyk my jy loop oop bene. Jovan was nie net vir my 'n kollega nie, toe sy my genoem het, my suster. Ons is meer as net kollegas gewees. Ek onthou my laaste gesprek met Johan, in die skoolterrein se parkering toe hy sy kind gaan haal het en ek met kleinseun. Hy het na my toe gekom, dit is 'n week voor sy afsterwe. En hy het my so teen my wang gesoen. En hy het vir my gesê, my suster, hou aan met die goeie werk. Hy het ook vir my gesê, Johan, en ek sal nooit jou woorde vergeet nie. Hy het vir my gesê, mag die Here nooit jou hart verander nie. Maar dat die Here jou oë sal oopmaak, want die is mense wat jou misbruik. En ek wil vir Johan sê, dankie. En na dit het ek gaan sit en ek het in my lewe ingekyk en ek kon sien waarvan jy praat. Aan Melly, Johan se maas, aan die kinders wil ek sê baie sterkte. Ek weet dit was vir Melly 'n bittere tyd die afgelope 2 weke. Met die dat sy haar pa en haar man skielik na mekaar verloor het. Maar ek wil vandag vir jou sê, die Here sal saam met jou deur hierdie stryd gaan. En baie dankie Melly, toe ek vir jou die boodskap stuur van sterkte. Stuur jy vir my 'n boodskap terug en jy sê vir my, ek dink so baie aan jou vandag. Want Johan was baie lief vir jou. En net so is ek vir jy, jou kinders en vir Johan. Vandag het ek nie woorde nie, maar ek wil vir jou sê, Johan, jy was 'n waardige leier. Ek en jy het baie goed saamgewerk in hierdie wijk. Jy het baie kere vir my gesê, dra vir my hierdie goede in, want jy gaan dit gouer reg kry as ek. En baie dankie dat ek en jy kon saamwerk vir een doel, en dis vir opheffing van die gemeenskap. Mooi loop, my broer, soos jy my altyd genoem het, my suster, tot ons weer ontmoet.
Baie dankie, older lady Reuters. The next one on our row is Counselor Annie Jansen van Rensburg. Annie.
Dankie, Speaker. Thank you. Speaker, I want to thank Councillor Breinders for his excellent leadership as Impact Chair. With his last Impact meeting, I phoned him and congratulated him, just like you know, the way he do it and the way that he did it. And just like our colleague said, he was a real gentleman. We salute you, Councillor Breinders, en baie sterkte aan sy vrou en sy familie. Baie dankie, Speaker.
Dankie, Raadslid Annie Jansen van Rensburg. Ek het Raadsheer Barend Groenewald hier op die lyn vir die volgende een. Councillor Bani, you've got the floor.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Yes, as Whip, I would just like to say that I can only second what everybody has already said. Ons innige sympathie, as ek Afrikaans mag praat, vir sy familie en vriende, sy kamerade. Wees stil, daar gaan 'n man verby. On behalf of the Garden Route District Municipality and the Speaker of Garden Route District Municipality, I would just like to convey our sincerest condolences to the family, to the friends, to the comrades and the colleagues of late Councillor Johan Breinders. He was a gentleman and I salute him. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alderman Groenewald. I see our Municipal Manager, Thijs Gillemeier, Municipal Manager, you've got the floor.
Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker,
this is not an easy one. I think the parting of Councillor Breinders was a very big shock for me and the rest of the administration of Mossel Municipality. Councillor Breinders reminded me a lot about myself. He was passionate about his job, and he was not afraid to take a standpoint in anything that affects our community. His parting is a huge blow for the whole of the community of Mossel Bay. His tracks in all aspects of Mossel Bay Municipality will remain with us for a long time to come. He is and will be missed by all who knew him. Councillor Breinders was a well-informed, honoured, remarkable and trusted leader. Councillor Breinders was an excellent example for others. Our condolences goes to Melly, his kids, his family, his friends and party. May you find peace in these difficult times. Thank you, Speaker.
Baie dankie, MM. Is daar nog iemand wat iets wil sê oor ons ontslape vriend?
Speaker?
Raadslid David?
Yes. Speaker, ja, goeiemôre.
Goeiemôre.
Ek wil net namens die causa aan familie sê sterkte. Ek dink almal het baie gesê oor hom. Ek en Johan het 'n paar jaar ons aangekom toe ons binne die ANC was. Goeie verhouding gehad, baie keer ook met mekaar verskil, maar ek dink dit was ten goeie gewees. En van my kant af, van familie se kant af, wil ek sê aan sy familie sterkte. Ons gaat 'n groot man mis wat baie opoffering gedoen het oor die jare. Ek glo die ANC gaat hom baie mis. Ek wil vir hulle sê sterkte vir al my kollegas. Ons hoop vertrou dat en ons weet dat Johan se siel in vrede sal rus en baie sterkte van ons kant af vir sy vrou, kinders, sy ma, broers. Ons weet dit is nie 'n maklike pad vir hulle nie, maar ons weet en ons glo wat God gedoen het is wel gedaan en mag God hulle vertroos en almal van ons vertroos in hierdie moeilike tyd. Baie dankie, Speaker.
Is daar nog iemand wat wil praat oor Raadslid Breinders?
Speaker. Yes, Speaker. Councillor.
Yes, Councillor Baron.
Can I speak? Speaker, ja, van die Vryheidsfront Plus se kant af wil ek graag vir Johan se familie 'n meegevoel toewens. Ek en Johan was baie goeie vriende geweest. En ons het baie vertroulik met mekaar gedeel wat jy nooit weer op 'n ander plek gehoor het nie. As iemand met wie jy enigiets kon deel en wat jy kon vertrou, hy sal nooit uitpraat nie. Dan wil ek sê van Johan. Johan was baie passievol oor sy afkom, sy heritage. Hy het so ver gegaan om homself te doop, Malayer, oor sy afkoms van waar hy vanaf kom. So sy aborigine afkoms was vir hom baie belangrik. En dan wil ek ook sê, Johan was vir my iemand wat baie wys was. Buiten dat hy 'n skerp politieke brein gehad het hy baie keer, het ek hom so gekyk, dan het ek geweet, sekere goed wat hy liewerste sluk en vir homself hou, omdat hy weet die wysheid is nou die belangrikste. So ek wil vir sy vrou en sy familie alles sterkte toewens, want ek weet daar lê 'n moeilike tyd vir hulle voor. Dankie van die Vryheidsfront Plus se kant af dat ons kan medelee aan sy familie kan gee. Dankie.
Dankie, Raadslid Baron. Ek sien nie nog hande nie, daarmee sluit. My volgende aankondigings, last year, every one of you will remind yourself on what was the weather like in this time last year. We were struggling with a drought. We were struggling getting water out to people. We were struggling to get transport for the water, and then a few entrepreneurs from Mossel Bay said they want to be part of it. And what happened is history. There was water delivered in many millions of liters of water, and it didn't cost us a cent. It was all by donuts. And then when Christmas time struck, people were on holiday, but it was still in drought. And we prayed to the Lord and asked, give us some advice where to go and what must we do. There's still people that that's in the need of drinking water. In a week, he take it's in his hand and he sent us 100 millimeters of rain, and for a long time, everyone had drink water in his tanks. We cannot but love the Lord for what he did to us and what he do to us every single day. And then come the end of March, and we take note of a germ that was located in China, and we were on a severe stress. What will be happening? I asked the MM, what will we do in the month of June or the month of May, when we have to conquer the year and send in all our figures to the state and whatever it may be. And he said to me, by that time we will greet each other with a hand. That haven't happened, but the Lord sent us Jesus, and he turned everything on his head. We could have do this, what we're now doing, to sorry for that one. I'm now thinking of something else. They gave his assurance that he will be the leader of our ship. And what has happened? We can see what we're doing, having a council meeting virtual, having all our meetings virtual. There's not the interaction between people, but there is interaction in what is valuable for our town. And then I want to thank each and every one of our personnel. You were hammered with a virus as well, and for some times the doors was closed. Even now, some of us have to go to our houses to live in isolation, and not many of our staff pay the highest price. But as we were on a roller coaster, we're now on a soft sailing, and it's all on what you have done for our municipality and for the people of Mossel Bay. I want to thank you for that one. And we now on our way to the Christmas. I want you to enjoy the holidays, but be aware, Jesus is there for us, and he will ever be there for us. And thank you very much for each and every one that puts a feather in the cap of Mossel Bay. We don't deserve it, but with your hand and the hand of Jesus on us, we received the #1 position in municipal finance and good governance. Thank you very much for our personnel. And at the end of my story, I want to go to the agenda. Will you please shift this to the agenda? I see a hand of Councillor Nicholas Boysen. Councillor Boysen. Councillor Boysen, your hand is up.
I'm asking when will you give me a chance for my motion?
You're on the floor, sir. You can bring your motion.
Thank you. Speaker, this is a motion of urgency. As out of our rules regulating the conduct of meetings of the Council of Mossel Bay Municipal approved by Council on the 28th of June 2018 in terms of Resolution E132/6/2018, which make provision for a motion of urgency, Rule 52, Part 7 of Rules of Debate, page 30 of 36. That a motion to which I will refer to be considered as a motion of urgency. The topic, Speaker, replacement of councillor at the discipline meeting at the 10th and 11th of December. I just want to ask if they can go on.
You can go on.
Okay. That Councillor Boysen be replaced with Councillor Erika Meyer for the hearing of the Councillor Darkham, which will take place on the 10th and 11th of December 2020. And that Councillor Angie Johnson van Remmers be the chairperson of this hearing only. This committee is only a temporary arrangement for the hearing and will defer to the original status as per council resolution after this hearing. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Do you have a seconder for this motion of exigency?
Thank you, Speaker. I second it.
Seconded. Councillor, seconded by Councillor Anton Delamain. Is there any one against it? I don't hear anyone against it. Then your motion of exigency will carry through, Councillor Boyson, as an unanimous vote. Can I go on? I see the hand of Councillor Cliffy Bayman. Councillor Bayman.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I would also like to, under Rule 54 of the Rules of Conduct, which allow a member to bring in a motion of urgency to the council, to ask permission to go forward with the one for Sowizia, please.
Councillor, can you please repeat what you said? I was not, I didn't hear you.
Okay, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. I would also like to, under Rule 54 of the Rules of Conduct, which allow a member to bring in a motion to council for urgent motion to council to ask permission to go forward with a one for. I would like to put something on table for the motion is regarding the Sowizia Beach Resort.
Thank you, Councillor. Do you have a seconder to put this onto the table, Councillor?
I believe so.
Thank you, Speaker. Councillor Anton Willemijn.
Ik hoor een secondant van Raadslid Willemijn. You can go on, Councillor or Alderman Bayman.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, it came to the attention of the municipality that the Great Bragg community was very concerned about the possibility that the Sowizia beach area would not be available for the 3-day overnight stay during this upcoming season, as was the use in the past 2 or 3 years. Now, we had a meeting. We from the if I say we, then I'm talking about the committee that's been delegated by the municipality to go in discussions with the Sowizia committee. So we had a meeting where we discussed the way forward with and for Sowizia. In this meeting, Speaker, we discussed the impact of COVID-19 as we were facing a spike in the garden route. Mr. Puren made it very clear at that meeting that we as participants at the meeting did not have the authority to take any decisions whatsoever. But after the discussions, we will take it back to council to consider and take the decision. And that is where we are today, Speaker. The intention with the discussions was never to close the beach, but rather to not allow any overnight staying there because of the COVID-19 situation and the possibility of the spreading of the virus. So that was the main intention. Also bear in mind, Speaker, that the meeting took place before the President addressed the nation. And I think we all expect at that time, we all expect a more aggressive level to be announced by the President. Maybe it could have been gone back to level 5. Now we as the Mossel municipality, are very concerned about the impact of COVID, Speaker, and we would do anything in our powers to prevent the spreading of the virus in our communities. So it didn't happen, and we stayed at level 1. So with that in mind, Speaker, we decide to allow the overnighting. Therefore, I would like to put this motion to council. If I can just get the document on the screen, please.
Kan jy vir ons die dokument opset, Colin?
I will second Councillor Cliffy Byman. I will second him.
It's been seconded, Councillor Baron, but thank you for assisting that.
Sorry, Speaker, wat se dokument praat julle van?
Die dokument oor die motion of exigency, wat gaan oor die wat is die plek daar by die see by Grootbrak?
Sowesia.
Sowesia, so dankie.
Speaker, ek het nie die dokument nie.
Okay.
Iemand het dit vir my gestuur.
Okay, Speaker.
Dankie, Carlos. U kan aangaan, Councillor Alderman Byman.
Okay, thank you.
Just make certain that everything you said was on. You talked about the document. I have it. Don't have it either.
Okay.
But make sure that everything you said is on it. Of anything that's on that document, that you bring it to us by word of mouth, and then we can decide on that.
I will send it through to the secretariat then, Speaker. Okay, number 1, Speaker, that the Sowesia camping area be available to the public as a temporary day camping area between the hours of 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night from the 8th of December 2020 until the 8th of January 2021. 2, that campers will be allowed to overnight on the premises on the following dates: 31st of December 2020, the 1st of January 2021, and the 2nd of January 2021. And thirdly, that delegated authority be granted to the municipal manager to approve the temporary Speaker,
Kom ons gee net een man 'n kans op beslag. Councillor Byman, is there anything else you want to bring to us?
I'm not finished yet, Speaker, but I had to stop because there was some interference in the line. So, Speaker, I would start with number 3 again. That delegated authority be granted to the municipal manager to approve the temporary infrastructure and services needed to make points 1 and 2 supra possible. And the last one, Speaker, that signage be put up to warn against COVID-19. With that, Speaker, I so move.
Thank you, Alderman Cliffy. I've had a shout from Councillor Baron. This is with it. Councillors, are every one of you satisfied with the motions of exigency that was brought to you?
Speaker.
Speaker,
nee, eerstens voor ek oor dit wat Raad Byman gesê het, Alderman. Ek wil net eers sê baie dankie vir Raadslid Annetjie van Rensburg en Raad Delamein vir een van die beste vergaderings gisteraand in Grootbrakrivier. Dit het my hart regtig bly gemaak dat ons in een vergadering kon sit en dat ons mekaar kon vind sonder om te beklei oor iets wat ons weet in belang van die mense. So ek wil vir hulle baie dankie sê vir die goeie gees waarin ons 3 raadslede in een vergadering kon sit. Ek dink as ons in die toekoms dit kan doen wat ons gister gedoen het, glo ek dat Mossel baie beter plek verder word. Maar weer eens dankie dat vir die raadslid Byman vir die mosie, en ek glo dit gaan die gemeenskap baie opgewonde maak, en ek dink dat ons vanaand net vorentoe kan beweeg. Ek ondersteun die mosie 100% van raadslid Byman.
Dankie, Raadslid. My reeling is done. My ruling will be that this motion of exigency will carry as an unanimous vote. Councillors, these two documents that was mentioned. Councillor Gous, okay, before I go further, you can take the floor.
Thank you. My apologies, Speaker. I think you missed my raised hand. Speaker, I just wanted to also express my support for the motion. I know there was a lot of unhappiness in the community regarding the possibility that they might not be able to camp there and use the area of December. And I'm very happy to see that this council has acted fairly and unilaterally and consistently with opening all the different camping areas for all our different communities. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Gous. I'm back at my motion. I received by hand the motion that was brought to you by Councillor Boyson. I just want to read the recommendation, and after that, Councillor Kamfer, will you please mute your microphone?
Hi, sorry, Speaker.
Thank you. What we will do, I'm now going to read you this motion of exigency as was brought by Councillor Boyson, just to remind you what he said, of the summary I gave, and then both these two documents will put into the minutes, and you as councillors will receive one of those on your PC some other time as soon as possible. Okay, I will then read the recommendation from the first one. I think that the next one was quite understandable. A recommendation that cognizance be taken of the acting chairperson, Councillor Boyson, rescue due to having a comorbiditis from the Code of Conduct Committee relating to the alleged breach of Code of Conduct for councillors by Councillor Kamfer, and then be accepted. The next one is that Councillor A. Janse van Rensburg be appointed as the acting chairperson for purposes of the Code of Conduct Committee regarding the alleged breach of the Code of Conduct for councillors by Councillor D. Kamfer. Point number 3 then, the Councillor E. Meyer be appointed as a member of Code of Conduct Committee regarding the alleged breach of Code of Conduct for councillors by Councillor David Kamfer. And the fourth one, that the Councillor Mark Furness be appointed as a secundi for the Code of Conduct Committee regarding the alleged breach of Code of Conduct for councillors by Councillor D. Kamfer. And that will be applicable only on this hearing that will take place on the 10th and 11th of December. Thank you very much, councillors. Then we're back to the agenda of the day. I'm at E205, Selga update on implementation of Municipal Councillors Pension Fund and the related resolutions. I don't think many of us are part of this fund, but we must go through it. Can I have a proposer and a seconder that this one can be tabled? E205.
I'll propose Mark Furness.
Proposed by Councillor Mark Furness, seconded by?
Seconded by Thabo Mvumvu, Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thabo. Then E205, is there anyone against it? When there's no one against it, we will take it as a unanimous vote. Yes, sir.
Speaker, did you hear me?
Councillor Buddha, yes, I can recognize you, Councillor Buddha.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, no, I don't have a problem with this item, but I want just a clarity, Speaker. In a simple English, I see the recommendation and the motivation and discussion. This pensioners fund, what is going to happen if maybe at the end of next term, next year, we quit as a councillor? and then other they are just continue to go forward. What's happening to our money, which is going to go to the this trust? I want just to know whether are we willing just to find our money, if we want our money in this trust, of maybe it's going to be shifted to the, how do you call it, to the trust, because some of us are in this fund. Thank you.
Councillor Buddha, I doubt that the people from this trust know what's going on. I cannot give you an answer, and I don't know of anyone that will give you an answer, but I've noticed what you said, and we will try to locate an answer on that one and give it to you in due time. Is there anyone else?
Speaker, if I may. Please, Speaker, thank you if you allow me, please.
You're welcome.
No, thank you. Thank you so much, Speaker. No, I would just like to share with all the colleagues that on the 30th of October this year, the Garden Route District Municipality also considered this report and resolved that the people from the Municipal Councillor Pension Fund be requested to do a presentation, and that all 7 municipalities within the Garden Route be invited when such a presentation is being arranged. So I think there are many questions that councillors that are currently members of that fund would like to raise, and that is why we adopted that resolution. We are awaiting their responses. We've got our council meeting today at 2 o'clock as well at Garden Route. I'll most probably get feedback on the resolution that we undertook, and I will convey it to you, Speaker, so that we can share the date and time of the presentation, albeit virtually and or otherwise. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Alderman Groenewald. I see the hand of MM.
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity, and I hope this will not be construed as dictating to another council, but to the Speaker of Garden Route District, it will be much appreciated if this meeting can be a Teams meeting. It will afford a better opportunity for councillors to engage. It might make it also easier for the pension fund to engage, then they don't have to travel. But I think given the COVID situation and the interest in this matter from councillors, we must afford as much as possible of them the opportunity. So thank you. If I may pose that request, thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. It is a I don't think anyone will deny it. I see Councillor Alderman Groenewald, your hand is still up.
Thank you so much, Speaker. No, we'll definitely do that. We are also very seriously aware of this COVID-19 threat that our district, more specifically, is facing currently. Thank you so much to our MM. We will definitely arrange that it will be done either via Teams or both Teams and Zoom, so that everybody can be accommodated. Thank you for the suggestion. I'll follow through on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. And then can you go up to 206, please?
Sorry, Speaker. Sorry, Speaker. Can I say something?
Mayor.
Because my hand don't want to raise.
Yes, Mayor.
No, I think this is the oldest pension fund. I also belong to this fund, and I will appreciate that what the municipal manager requested, because I also want to partake and find out what will happen. I know that this fund was at the time almost bankrupt, and I think that I am continuously almost, what is it now, 15 years, part of this fund. And I really, I'm inquisitive to know what I really have inherited for me. Not inherited, but what I can expect whenever I want to use the fund.
Thank you, Mayor. I did forward a document to your office, and I think that might be on your table by this time. I'm at E206 of 11-2020, the capital program for 19 and 20. Do I have a proposer and a seconder for the capital program?
Speaker, I'll propose Mark Furness.
Thank you, Councillor Mark. Proposed by Councillor Mark Furness. Seconder?
Speaker, I'll second Councillor Kannemeyer.
Councillor Kannemeyer, the seconder. Anyone else? I see a hand of the mayor and I see a hand of Councillor Gous. Mayor, have you still something to say on this one? It seems to me Mayor didn't take off his hand. Councillor Gous, you're on the floor.
Speaker.
Councillor Gous.
Thank you, Speaker. I appreciate the time. Speaker, I'd like to say that obviously we're all very aware of the unique circumstances that we faced this last financial year, particularly with the lockdown happening exactly in the time where the actual work would have been done on the very many projects this municipality has undertaken. So knowing this, I was pleasantly surprised in seeing our expenditure rates on our capital projects. In my opinion, all of our departments have done really well in these very novel conditions, but I must, however, ask that a note be made about the ACDP's concern. From what I can see, that no expenditure or progress has been made in the upgrading of the informal settlements for which we had put aside 3.5 million to be spent this year, and also an 18 million that was not spent in Asinzani is in Yorka. Please note that I'm not mentioning this in ignorance of the very big challenges that we faced during lockdown, but also with a very keen awareness of the dire circumstances of the people in these two areas. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Scribe, will you note this, please, under the name of ACDP? Anyone else?
Speaker. Speaker.
Councillor Buddha.
Yes, Speaker. Speaker,
Councillor Buddha, you've got the floor.
Yes, Speaker. Did you hear me?
I can hear you, sir.
I don't dispute this item, capital budget, but just a clarity, Speaker. You see, I see the huge amount of the money go to Sonske, but just the clarity, the upgrading of informal settlement in Sonske Valley, informal settlement. In my understanding, Speaker, we've got 21 informal settlement in the greater Mossel Bay. Now, I just want to know what kind of upgrading is this, because I'm aware of the housing they were built in Sonske Valley, Herbesdale, and Freemasam and Joslovo. But what kind of an upgrading in informal settlement in Sonske Valley? Because now I see here in Walvis Street just recently, when the municipality reallocate the people from Walvis Street underneath it on top, then people they are crying that they're making what we call the chaos there. They want to make it to they say they want electricity. Can you give me a target about this 1.4 million, which is going to upgrade the informal settlement in Sonske Valley? Thank you.
Councillor, you're aware of it that I don't give answers in a council meeting. You've got a right to send a letter to the relevant chairpersons, and then by now you would have had your answer, but I see there's a hand of Mr. Venter. Mr. Venter, can you perhaps give us something on that one? I don't want to put you on a stop, but I've seen your hand was up. Mr. Venter?
Thank you, Speaker. My reply is based on the information of a question provided by the councillor. So perhaps, like you've just said, if he needs more clarity, then I just need more information. But I think it relates more to the name of a project. We have to remember that when this project was initiated by the Department of Human Settlements, it was at that stage also considered of an upgrading of informal settlements, which is the Power Town village that we refer to. So that is why, and it's registered with the department as an upgrading of informal settlement project. That is the power account project. So I think that is perhaps why it's a bit confusing. Although the way it's rolled out and the way that our actual UISP program is rolled out is different.
Thank you, Mr. Venter. Councillor Buddha, I think you must make an appointment with the relevant departments and state your verdict. There will be an answer for you then. Is there anyone against E206? Councillor Buddha, I gave you a chance. There's no second chance today. We're in almost 11:15. So I would advise you to make an appointment with Mr. Venter and his personnel, and they will definitely give you the answers. I don't have any more answers to give you, so I would really like to go on. Is it fine with you, Councillor Buddha?
Speaker. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Buddha. Then my ruling is then E206 of 11/2020 carries through as unanimous vote. Next one, please. Colin. E207, thank you. Mossel Bay Oil and Gas Forum, Memorandum of Understanding. I assume every one of you have read through it and seeing the huge oil rig that was in the bay, and that make us more anxious to be part of the oil and gas in Mossel Bay. So do I have a proposer and a seconder for this Mossel Bay Oil and Gas Forum, the Memorandum of Understanding?
I propose.
Is it Councillor Anton Delamain, am I right?
No, it's Councillor Leon van Dijk, Speaker. I second it.
Councillor Leon van Dijk is the proposer, and it has been seconded by Councillor Anton Delamain. Anyone on this one, or anyone against?
Speaker Buddha.
Yes, Councillor Buddha.
No, it's just a question. I see the recommendation, I see also the discussion. I want just to ask, are the two forums of Mossel Bay being part of this agreement, Memorandum of Understanding? Because there's a huge cry outside in the resident of Mossel Bay where they said they were excluded in the negotiation and employment. They are accused of AFRI Forum of taking people from outside Cape Town, Durban, etc. I want just to know whether they are trying one day to make what we call a picketing. They are part and parcel of these stakeholders which were negotiated with the mayor, with the deputy mayor. Thank you.
Councillor Buddha, you might be jumping the gun, but MM, can you put some light on this one, please?
Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Speaker, this was a discussion between the different spheres of government. So this is the different spheres of government coming together to see how we can assist possible exploration in the Southern Cape. Yes, Councillor Buddha is quite correct. There was an outcry from the community. And the last decision, though it wasn't a decision taken on the forum itself, but the members of the forum is ad idem or in agreement then that we should include the community or community representatives, specifically the labor representatives, on this forum. So yes, they will be included. But as it stands now, it is a governmental or an intergovernmental agreement that will be expanded to include the community members. I hope I answered the question, Speaker.
Thank you, MM. I see hands of Councillor Gous, Councillor Chaba. Councillor Gous, is it on the Oil and Gas Forum?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, just quickly, I'm always a little reluctant to do this, but just for the sake of correction, point 14.1 of the Memorandum of Understanding, I think should probably read in writing and not the current wording which says to writing. So just a small correction there. But then, Speaker, I would like to just receive more clarity on the actual possible, well, not possible cost, because we've actually mentioned in the item that there will be a need for co-funding, and that participation is premised on the understanding that stakeholders will contribute to projects. And as always, I'm wary about just committing ratepayer funds when we've got no idea of what amount of money we're talking about. I have noticed that the item does mention that we will provide facilities and non-financial resources for meetings, but it's not very clear about projects. It also mentions that, the need for co-funding, and that co-funding is going to have to come from, for example, the George Municipality, the Garden District Municipality. And I'm sorry to say that in the past, some of the municipalities in the Garden Route District have not been very forthcoming in assisting the Mossel Bay Municipality with funding, for example, like the Film Office, and I'm thinking of the Waste Infrastructure Program as well, where Oudtshoorn doesn't contribute at all. Mossel Bay carries the costs. And so while it's commendable that we're wanting to see economic growth and improve the regional competitiveness, the ACDP also supports this initiative where we can become attractive to foreign investment. But I really want to ask Council to exercise caution and remind ourselves that we should only be creating a conducive environment and not actively involving ourselves in the creation of business. Because we need to be mindful that every cent we commit has to be recovered from residents, and they do not always receive direct benefits in the form of reduced service costs and so on. So if we can just get some clarity on what type of costing are we looking at for projects. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. I cannot give you an answer on figures, so put my neck on the block for that one, but I cannot give you an answer. I see a hand of Alderman, not Alderman, Mr. Carl Venter, the Director Venter, and if you are ready, then after you it will be the MM.
Speaker, yes.
What about me? Speaker, what about me? I raised my hand before Councillor Gous. What about me?
You will be the third in a row.
Okay, thanks.
Jammer, meneer Venter.
Speaker, yes. No, the cost and how much and so on was not up till this point discussed in detail in negotiations with our fellow departments, so I can't give any clarity on that. However, because of that, we said that any cost must first come back to Council for consideration through the budget process. Thanks, Speaker.
Thank you, Director Venter. MM?
Yes, thank you, Speaker, and I think thank you to the Councillor for the good question, or the very valid question. Councillor, as accounting officer, I need to ensure that funds of the public is only utilized for municipal functions. One of those municipal functions is to, as you correctly stated, create an enabling environment. And that is our aim, is to create an enabling environment. Definitely not to become a partner in oil and gas exploration. That is not a municipal function. So that is what we're trying to do, is just to create a forum where people can engage with not only us but with all other departments. So according to me, yes, that'll be mostly the cost will be to create an enabling environment, and definitely not to become part of this whole process. That's a private initiative, and that should remain a private initiative. But thank you for the question. I think it's very good to clarify.
Thank you, MM. Councillor Letaba, it's your turn now. And Councillor Gous, I'll give you a few minutes to reply after Councillor Letaba has stated these questions.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you very much, Speaker. As per this item, I see the stakeholders of this forum, and I see George Municipality, I see Mossel Municipality, I see the district municipality, I see the provincial, what have you. Now, I don't know where is Joe, where is Nice now out on play. At least where we would have known, I thought we would be told that the reason why they are not here, they don't want to. Because if we speak about region, they are part of the region. If we speak about this district, they are part of it. And Councillor, not Councillor actually, the MM and Director Funder already answered few of my questions pertaining to this forum. So that the other forums will also be involved, but it still is now governmental. You know, the purpose of that question was to try and look at whether is there a room for everyone. You know, history repeat. We don't want history to repeat itself. When Petrosek came here, they only came here and they came up with their own way of doing things. And in terms of employment, that was explained here. They will even go to Joburg for a trench digging job. To go to Joburg and interview a person that will work as a trench digger, which is not right. So, but the MM and the director answered me. We'll look forward to that one, that everyone be involved. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Chaba. I'm one of those who would want to everyone in Mossel Bay we must try to keep in Mossel Bay and giving him a job. But now you will answer me and say yes, but that's wishful thinking. That is wishful thinking, but still I want, and what is in my hands, I will always fight for the people of Mossel Bay. So don't worry about that one. If it's possible, I'll be on the side of the people of Mossel Bay each and every time. I just saw a hand of Councillor Gous, and then I see a hand of Mr. Gilumi again. Councillor Gous.
Thank you, Speaker. First of all, thank you to Director Venter for the reply and also to our MM. I understand, or my understanding, and this is what I'm hoping our MM can just clarify for me, is that the role of the Mossel Bay Municipality will actually be to facilitate communication and relations between these different parties, the different stakeholders. So my apologies to the MM if he thinks I'm pressing him on this, but could he just, for my sake, because I'm really not understanding, what type of projects would we typically be involved in then, and what costs would we be contributing to these projects? Just a simple example, MM, because I don't understand what projects we will be involved in. I can understand the facilitation and the provision of meeting facilities and so on, but I'm not clear on the type of projects that we would engage in with the stakeholders.
Thank you, Councillor Gous. This will be now the last speaker on this one will be our MM.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I hope I answer correctly because I was not always involved in all of these negotiations. Councillor, for instance, and that might answer some of Councillor the other councillors' questions as well. For instance, if there's certain training needs, the municipality will engage with the provincial department of DDAT to see how we can facilitate such a training. We will try not to do the training ourselves, but obviously the Department of DDAT has got a skills development section, so we will ensure that they are engaged and that they are on board and those sort of things. As you know, we will avail facilities, so those meetings takes place in Mossel Bay at the municipal facility. It might be that we do a bit of snacks or a bit of coffee or something like that. That's expenditure. But for the rest, I don't foresee real expenditure. And as Mr. Venter said, if there's any other expenditure, that will have to come back to council. But for the moment, it is put in as a provision that we can come back to council, but it's not to say that you're going to approve any expenditure, any exorbitant expenditure, obviously, except that obviously the facilitation and making available facilities and all those sort of things. So no, I don't think there will be huge expenditure for any for the ratepayers in that regard. As to the previous councillor's question, yes, at this stage we had to start somewhere. We started with the closest municipalities. Obviously, George need to be included because the airport is in the George area. That's why George is included. The other municipalities further away don't have a direct impact or a direct relationship at this stage. But as with the private sector or the labour representatives, this is not a closed thing. It can the forum can always incorporate or add some more participants. So this is for the moment what it is, but it is possible to co-opt other municipalities and other structures whenever it is needed. I hope I've answered. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, A lot of questions were answered and answers were given. At the end of 207, I don't have anyone against it. So my ruling is E207 of 11/2020 will carry through as anonymous vote. Thank you, councillors. Then I will be at 208, disaster management plan. And I think that disaster management is one of the most abused words in the municipal or in the country's vocabulary the last few months. But without it, we could have been in deeper trouble. I put on the table E208 at 11 of 2020. Disaster management plan. Proposer by? Is it Councillor Nicholas Boysen? Seconder?
Thank you, Speaker. Councillor Anton de Lemijn, I second it.
Seconded by Councillor Anton de Lemijn. Anyone that want to elaborate on E208? I see a hand of Councillor Chaba and I see a hand of the Councillor Lichaba, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time and put you first.
No, Speaker, my hand was raised before, in another item. Sorry, I didn't lower it.
No, that happens to me as well. Would you like to add something on it?
No, Speaker, I'm in the same boat as Councillor Lichaba.
Okay, then no one is against it. E208 of 11/2020 carries through as a disaster management plan that carries through as an unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. I'm at 209. 209 of 11/2020, the amendments of the 2021-22 and the 22-23 MIG project implementation plan. Some amendments, and as you've seen in the documents that was provided to us. Is there anyone that want to propose and second it?
Thank you, Speaker. I propose Anton de Lemijn.
Proposed by Councillor Anton de Lemijn. Seconder for that?
Speaker, I'll second Mark Furness.
Seconded by Councillor Mark Furness. Anyone against? No one against. Then E209 of 11/2020 will carry as an unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. The next one, 201 of 11/2020, approval tender process for renting out commercial outdoor advertising space for billboards in Mossel Bay on the municipal property. I think you've been through it all, and that's a source of income for the municipality, E210. Do I have a proposer and a seconder on this one?
Speaker, I'll propose Mark Furness on the proviso that we also look at maximizing the revenue we obtain. I noted it was 3,000 per face, but if we can maximize that, that would be a great. So I would like to propose with that condition. Thank you.
Proposed by Councillor Mark Furness with the additional remark. Will you please take that in consideration when we ask for a seconder? Seconder?
Second, Speaker, Kannemeyer.
Seconded by Councillor Marilyn Kannemeyer. Anyone against? No one against. E202. Councillor, oh, sorry, I missed your hand. Can you
Not a problem, not a problem.
Councillor
Speaker,
Gou?
the ACDP, we're in a bit of a quandary with this item simply because two issues have been conflated in this item for recommendation. The first recommendation is the approval for sites to be rented out, leased out, for billboards to be put up. I'm completely in support of that. Unfortunately, I do not support the council putting up their own board at a cost of approximately 400,000 Rand. And this can be leased. I concur with Councillor Furness that's discussed the 3,000 Rand per face. But even if we increase that amount, Speaker, it's going to take us many, many years to recover that infrastructure cost. And then we aren't even including the cost of maintenance and that type of thing. So unfortunately, for those reasons, the ACDP is going to have to abstain from approving the item. I hope I've made myself clear that we're not against the leasing of billboards space, but we are against the further expenditure of more advertising money for this municipality. And then I also would like to speak, just commend our council and our officials for actually taking note of the great concern of the Great Back residents who stood very firmly against having these boards in their area. But I also note that we have observed the objection and we have said that we will not put up any there yet. So that is a concern, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. I see a hand of Councillor Furness before I go to MM.
Speaker, just to address Councillor Gou's concerns, if we advertise this billboard correctly, look, we'll probably use it for signage for our own purposes. But if we do this correctly, we should be able to recover those costs within 2 to 3 years. Because to give you an idea, I rent billboards around town, well, at the malls actually, and we pay just on 4,000 Rand a board. Now, if you look at those big billboards, we should be able to get in excess of 15 to 30,000 Rand a month for that, for rental space. And that would then, if we get 15,000, we'll be able to get our money back within 3 years. So that is just a side note on that, Councillor Gous. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mark. MM.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. I'll perhaps just speak against the councillors. So sorry for that, and that I first ask sort of forgiveness before I start speaking. Yes, I wanna perhaps just concentrate on the board for the municipality. You will know that the municipality, yes, we can brag about being the best at all those sort of things, but that will not attract. So what we envisage with that board is more to advertise our uniqueness as being a adventure tourism destination. So a lot of that will actually go to the tourist or for the tourist market or the tourist operators. We rather say the tourist operators. So it will be made available for members of Mossel Bay Tourism at a price that is more affordable in order to give them also an opportunity to advertise. Obviously, you will, and if I may use an example, if you're doing a sand dune skiing, it's going to be very difficult to compete with a sunlamp for a space on a board. So that is why we want to give a bit of lenience to our own tourist and more specifically adventure tourist operators in order to attract visitors to the town, but also to tell them about the unique opportunities and the unique experiences they can have in Mossel Bay. Therefore, you'll also see that it's quite a unique position where we put that board up. It's between Mossel Bay and Hartenbos, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that was the reason. And I don't have a problem to say that we must see or try to recover the cost as soon as possible. But we must. It's also a service that we render to our local community to give them an opportunity to market their unique products without having to compete with the big companies, the Mutuals and the Sanlams and those sort of things. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, MM. Is there anyone else? Mayor?
Speaker, now I just want to remind Councillor Gous that we always talk about why we don't get visitors in Mossel Bay, especially as jy nou die afrit vat van die N2 af, deur die dorp. Nou ons wil ons nou besigheidsmense aanwakker om hulle besigheid op te sit in die dorp. Maar ek gaan nou net herhaal wat die Chinese vrou vir my gesê het. Toe ons hulle vir die eerste keer oor die brug bring en deur die dorp laat ry na 'n plek toe. Toe sê sy het nooit geweet. Daar is 'n pad wat jy kan vat van die N2 af wat deur die dorp ry en sy sien nou eers vir die eerste keer hoe mooi lyk Mossel Bay. Nou die groot probleem is omdat dit is soos die MM sê, ons het nog nooit ons showcase nie wat in die dorp aangaan. Ons showcase net as iemand verby in die N2 ry, dan staan daar 'n mondelike bord wat sê Mossel Bay. Maar ons kan nie groei in ons ekonomie as ons nie die mense deur op Louisville deur die dorp laat ry nie. Dit baat nie ons bring al die toeriste attraksies in. Maar ons sê nie vir hulle waar draai jy af en waar gaan jy in om by die plek uit te kom nie. As ons vir mekaar kan sê ons het sulke borde en goed, dan is dit fyn, maar ons het nie. En daarom sê ek weer, ons onderneming, dat ons erken dat toerisme is ons grootste inkomste. Maar dan moet ons begin te dinge doen om toerisme te trek. Dankie.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anyone against 210 of 11/2020, and then with the exemption of the ACDP,
yes, thank you, Speaker.
through as an unanimous vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
411. Writing off irrecoverable debts for the period ending 31st of October 2020. Kan 'n voorsteller en 'n sekondant vir die afskryf?
I'll propose, Speaker.
Being
I
proposed
second it, Speaker.
by the Minister of Finance, Councillor Mark Furness, and it was seconded by Councillor Nicholas Boyson. Anyone against? No one against, so this carries then through as an unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We're at E213. Colin? 2 en 3 asseblief.
2 en 2. Speaker?
Okay, then I'm jumping the gun. Sorry for that one. I'll need hierdie een af, Colin. Monthly report from the supply chain management section as at 30th of September 2020. Thank you for all the ladies that brought me back to on the road. E212 of 11/2020 monthly report. Do I have a
Speaker?
Speaker,
sorry, Speaker. Speaker, I will propose.
Proposed by Councillor Mari de Klerk. Seconder?
Speaker, I second. Councillor Reuters.
Councillor being seconded by Councillor Reuters. Anyone against? When I hear silence, E212 of 11/2020 goes through as an unanimous vote. Councillor Gous, sorry, I have missed your hand again. Kom maar aangaan, Colin. Hartje Groenewald, jouw hand is ook op. Nou is hij weer weg. 213, monthly deviation.
No, I'm here. Thank My apologies, Speaker. My apologies. Can I speak? Mr. Speaker, I would like to apologize, but I request you that we can call for a caucus, and I would request us just to revisit the issue of the billboards again, please. I'll really appreciate my sincerest apologies for the inconvenience being caused, but there's a request that we should just have a quick discussion or caucus in this regard.
How long will quick be?
I'll try my level best, Speaker, to have it within 5 to 8 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, well, we will then start at 20 past 11, and you can go have your caucus, and we will be back at 20 past 11. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Speaker.
Councillor Bali, am I part of the caucus now?
Yes, please, Mr. Mayor. I'll really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know. I think we are all now included in this. We haven't yet go into caucus. I mean, virtually speaking, but I will communicate via our caucus chat group as we speak. Thank you.
Must I keep my phone on?
Yes, please, Mr. Mayor. I'll appreciate that.
Okay.
But you just go to the caucus chat group, the caucus page.
Now you're asking me a new thing.
Burgemeester, ik sal blij wees as jy dit met die WhatsApp doen.
Okay.
Thank you, Speaker. We are back.
Goed, baie dankie. Is almal terug op die lig? Kan jy my hoor?
Speaker, we are here.
What
We
is
are back.
Thank you.
Back speaker.
U het 'n caucus gehad, die caucusleier, wat lê u vir my voor?
Thank you so much, Speaker. On behalf of the
Antwoord.
Mense, ek hoor niks.
Thank you, Speaker. No,
Speaker,
thank you, Speaker. If you allow me, can we please ask that we go back to that item, and that I request that the proposal, Councillor Mark Furness, be given an opportunity to readdress Council on this issue. Please, thank you.
Councillor Furness.
Speaker, good afternoon, good morning. Thank you very much. Speaker, I would like to request that item E210 be referred back. It is for the final part of the billboard that we have. If we can refer it back for further clarity. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Is daar 'n sekondant vir hierdie gedagte?
Ek sekondeer
Speaker, I
speaker.
second it.
Kan my
Laat dit Mark Furness stel dan voor dat dit teruggetrek word. Dit word gesekondeer deur aan my raadhede. Ek wil net vir julle sê, dit is nie vir my baie goeie voorbeeld wat ons stel nie, maar ek los dit daar. Karen, sit vir my die volgende agenda punt op asseblief.
Speaker? My apologies, Speaker. I am late. Oh, I was late returning to the meeting. Can I just quickly ask which item has been withdrawn?
The one you were talking about, the one on the billboards.
I see. Thank you, Speaker.
Colin, sit vir my die agenda op asseblief. Is ons personeel dan ook nou op caucus? Sê weer? Ja, maar ek soek die dokument. Colin, kan ek die dokument op die skerm kry asseblief?
Speaker, dit wys vir my.
Dit wys nie by my nie, ek kry net die name. Sal hom nou soek, Colin. Sê weer? Het ek hom nou, dankie. Colin, jy het aantekening gemaakt dat ons die een oor die billboard terugtrek. Ons is dan by E213 van 11/2020 monthly deviation report by supply chain management for the period ending the 30th of September 2020. Kan ek 'n voorstel aan 'n sekondant kry dat ons dit ter tafel lê?
I'll propose, Speaker.
Proposed by Mark Furness, I suppose? Yes. Thank you, Mark.
I second, Speaker.
Seconded by Councillor Annie Jansen van Rensburg. Enige een daarteen? Anyone against? E213, die deviation report word dan in para gedra deur as 'n besluit van die raad. E214, E214 at 11/2020 quarterly report from supply chain management as at the 30th of September 2020. Can I have a proposer and a seconder that this one can be laid on table?
Speaker, I'll propose. It's Maureen.
Councillor Marie de Klerk, the proposer, and the seconder.
Speaker, I'll second. Mark Furness.
Thank you, Councillor Mark. Anyone against? If there is no one against it, E214 will then carry through as an unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We're at E215 of 11/2020 renewal. Sorry, for a lease agreement of 14100 situated at McKinley Street Extension 15. Hy daaraan Mossel by, and it's squares of 738. Square and Mossel Bay Round Table. And that's the one Councillor Mark give us notice that he will not be with us then. Councillor Mark, have you left the chambers? When I do have no response, Councillor Mark has left the meeting. Can I have a proposer and a seconder for this one?
I propose Speaker Leon van Dijk.
Thank you, Councillor Leon. Proposed by Councillor Leon van Dijk.
Speaker, I second. It's Aniki.
Aniki, seconded by Councillor Aniki. Anyone against it? No one against. Then E215 carries as an unanimous vote.
Speaker, sorry, it's Councillor Gous. Can you hear?
Councillor Gous, yeah, I don't see your hand, but I hear you.
Yes, sorry, Speaker. I just want to confirm, Speaker, that I did request via an email prior to the committee meetings to please see a copy of the current lease agreement that Roundtable has for the Mossel Bay Municipality, and whether or not that lease agreement has got an additional agreement that they could lease the building out to other organizations for a reimbursement or whatever. Unfortunately, I haven't received that information, and I'd like that noted now. I don't have a problem with us renewing their lease, but I would like that information to be forwarded to me, please, Speaker. As I said, I did request it via email from the legal department.
I haven't any notice of that. I'll talk to the legal department and see what we can bring to you into your hand. I take note that you and I remind myself that you requested on the committee meetings you asked that question again. So yeah, but now I'm at 215 for the proposer and the seconder, which I had, and we had a decision. So I will ask the legal department to send you answers on that one. I don't have it on my hand just now. It's fine with you, Councillor?
Yes. Yes,
Thank
it
you
is.
very much.
Thank you, Speaker. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Then 216. E216 application for the renewal of the lease agreement of portion of Earth 305 Great Black River, Anglo-African Management Trust, trade as the Feta Mossel. For those of you who would like to overindulge, that's the place. E216, kan ek 'n voorstel en 'n sekondant kry?
Thank you, Speaker. I propose Anton Delamain.
From out of Ward 5, Councillor Delamain is the proposer. Seconder?
Thank you, Speaker. I second the proposal.
Proposed by Councillor Annie Jansen van Rensburg. Anyone against it? No one.
Speaker.
Ja,
Speaker.
Councillor, ja.
Speaker, ek wil net my teenstem aanteken teen dit.
Ons maak so. Ons teken aan dat die Koza het sy teenstem aangeteken teen die verhuur van die grond daar aan Vette Mossel. Dankie, Raadslid Kamper, ons het dit opgesit. Kan ek die volgende verwysing gaan? Dankie. E217 application to lease of a portion of open space portion of Earth 1260, now Earth 7515 Kwanongap, situated at Tembalisa Avenue, and that's with the Kwanongaba 4999 squares, and it was a Growing Hope Trust, and that's where the informal settlements sprang up in the nearest past. And I think that's what I saw your hand for, Councillor Julia. Can I have a proposer and a seconder? Voorsteller en 'n sekondant. Julia, jou hand is net op, beteken dat jy stel voor?
Ja, ek stel
En dan sal ek haar sekondeer, Speaker.
Baie dankie en gesekondeer deur Councillor Boysen. Almal tevrede? Anyone against it? No one is against it. E218 of 11/2020 carried through as unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We're at 219, exchange of a portion of 19201 Mossel.
Speaker, my apologies. struggling with my touch screen for some reason. Can you hear me?
I can hear you there. You can go on, Councillor.
Speaker, I would just thank you, Speaker. I just want to comment on the Growing Hope Trust with us refunding the 250,000 Rand to them. I understand the circumstances, and so I'm not opposed to that. But I would like to express the hope that they will not withdraw from this project completely, but that they will remain committed to reinitiating this project somewhere else in the area, because I think it is one of great value and it's one that will empower the community. So yes, the ACDP would just like to express the hope that they would actually not withdraw but continue with the project just somewhere else.
I think all of us share your hope, seeing that we're in a hope is what we all want for during this time, but living in America, I doubt if they will come back with another try like that, but let's hope. E218 het ons geen teenstanders nie of voorstelle nie. E218 at 11/20/2020 carried through as an unanimous vote. Councillors, we can sing together, but we can't talk together, all of us at the same time. Please mute your microphones. I'm at 219, exchange of a portion of, kan ons 'n bietjie op asseblief, Carlin? I say nothing. Exchange of a portion of earth 19201 Mossel Bay at 150 squares, a portion of earth 14701 Mossel Bay, a part of 1920 square, earth number 14703, that's 2590 squares, and a portion of earth 2001 Mossel Bay, 5774 squares. Municipal property for a portion of earth 14702 Mossel Bay, that's 20,378 squares. The property of Rockstride Trust, that's been at the council several times, and now is the time to put on the stamp. Anyone would like to bring me a proposer and a seconder on this one, 219?
Thank you very much, Speaker. I would like to propose item E219 of November 2020 for approval.
Being proposed by Councillor or Alderman Cliffy Bayman. Do I have a seconder for this one?
Speaker, I'll second. Mark Furness.
Thank you, Councillor Mark. It was seconded by Councillor Mark Furness. Anyone against? I see a hand of Councillor Gous.
No, Speaker, my apologies. I should have lowered it. Suffering from the same problem as our MM and earlier Councillor Lichaba.
Okay, thank you then. E219 carried through as unanimous vote. Next one, please. E220, Municipal Contractor Development Program. I hope you've read through it. It was reported by Mrs. Gwen Harding. Can I have a proposer and a seconder for this one?
Yes, indeed, Speaker. I would like to propose item.
I've got a proposal by Alderman Cliffy Bayman. And then
Thank you, Speaker. I'll second that.
Seconded by Councillor.
My apologies.
Alderman Groenewald.
Thank you so much, Speaker.
I think the mayor.
I see
Mayor's
a hand.
hand is up,
Mayor,
Speaker.
I see a hand. I see a hand of Councillor Groenewald and I see a hand of Councillor Jeanette Ghost. Then it has now changed. Mayor, you on the floor?
No, Speaker. I want to lodge an urgent request, and it is active in the municipal manager. As far as I know, that the mayor must have insight in what is it LED EPWP projects. I also know that in the past, the mayor should sign Now, Speaker, my problem is that I don't know where this project's come down. I want to know where it comes down. Therefore, there must be a list in front of me so that I can see what is actually happening. Are we doing what we are writing? Because we have to improve the conditions of the people outside. I want to see whether they are working as we are saying, what they are doing. So I want this as a project written so that I can really see what is going on. I think that if the administration, if it is still the same, if they read the EPWP conditions, they will know that the mayor signed it off. And I've never signed it off. I don't know why, whether it is still applicable or whether somebody is sidestepping me. And I'm saying now, I won't be sidestepped again. I want to know where those projects will come down. Thank you.
Mayor, in what you said, I just want to give Councillor Jeanette Gous a chance, and then our MM, Mr. Gilomere. At first then, Jeanette, Councillor Gous, Jeanette Gous.
Thank you, Speaker. The Mayor has noted moot points. I actually welcome the fact that we would like to empower historically disadvantaged individuals. But my concern is how realistic are we when we're looking at those categories? Do we have a list of women, disabled, and military veterans that do have construction companies currently, or are we proposing to start with this from the ground up? I also would like to note that we've mentioned that these programs, will be for contractors that are subcontracted on to the value of between 25 to 30% of the original contract. And we'd like to see this as a real tool of empowerment, not just something that inflates. Sorry, Speaker, somebody's got their microphone. Thank you. We'd like to see it as a real tool of empowerment and not just something that's going to inflate the cost of projects for our ratepayers. And then also we've mentioned a local labour stipulation, which is welcomed, and is mentioned as being part of our current contracts, but is it followed up at all? Because I note that we've had several complaints regarding the work happening in Grootbrak in Long Street, that local labour has not been included there. I haven't been able to confirm that. It's just several complaints I've received. And then also, Speaker, the ACDP would like to support the recommendation that the Garden Route District Management appoint the service provider and that it not be a sole initiative of the Mossel Bay Municipality. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Gous. There were some noises in the beginning, but that was sorted out. The next one, Municipal Manager.
Speaker, yes, I'm in trouble with the mayor now. Mayor, I was sort of on leave, or sort of leave, and I didn't check the items that went through. Obviously, I couldn't. So if Director now has got further information, she might want to add, but I will have no objection if we refer this matter back, because I cannot assist the mayor in this matter. Sorry for that.
Baie dankie, dit was ook my gedagte. Ek gaan dan nie verdere toesprake hieroor dat gaan nie. Ek reël dan dat E220 nie vandag sal geld nie, dat dit terugverwys sal word, dat burgemeester daardeur gaan en daardeur gaan en dit na 'n volgende raadsvergadering dan sal E220 dan behandel word. Ek sien nog 'n klomp hande, maar dit is afgehandel. Ons gaan dan verder asseblief E221. Performance evaluations and bonuses for the directors, en nou vra ek die betrokke persone wat hierby betrokke is om die forum te verlaat.
Speaker, may I just request something before we leave? Can we have this matter or this item stand down till the last? My concern is just if all the officials leave now, it will be quite an exercise to get them back on the system. So I'll be happy if we can perhaps let this one stand over to the last item, so that when the officials leave, you can finish this item and then the meeting will be finished. It's just a practical request, but obviously it's in your hands.
En daarmee sal ek kan saamleef. My reëling is dan dat E221 van 11/2020 as die laaste item op die program bespreek sal word. Dankie. Volgende een.
Mr. Speaker, may I come in, please? My apologies.
Groenewald.
Thank you, Speaker. Now, yes, please. I would like to speak on this item. I know it's now been referred back, but I must unfortunately leave at 12:30 latest to go to George. I must be we are having virtual as well as Speaker. I must be present in the chambers. But what I would like to say on this specific item very quickly, because I was supposed as the caucus to present this. So, Mr. MM, yes, Speaker, if you allow me, first of all, I would just like to say from the bottom of our hearts that we sincerely thank and appreciate your team's dedication, you and your team's dedication in serving the community and Council of Mossel Bay. So our sincerest thanks, and secondly, congratulations.
Speaker, I will second item.
The speaker, where's the speaker now?
Colin, maak het vir my oop asseblief dat ek I'm at E222 of 11 of 2020 Cooperation Agreement, Mossel Bay Municipality, Mossel Bay Golf Club, Mossel Bay Golf Estate Homeowners Association, and that was a lot of work being done by the Deputy Mayor. Can I have a proposer and a seconder that this can carry through?
Speaker, I'll propose, Mark Furnace.
Thank you, Councillor Mark.
I'll second Speaker, Leon van Dijk.
Seconded by Councillor Leon van Dijk. Anyone else? Anyone against? No, I see.
Speaker, no. Speaker, the ACDP would like to just commend our Executive Deputy Mayor on, how shall I put this properly, but on managing a very difficult situation and managing to get an amicable agreement between the parties.
Councillor Ghost, thank you for that one. I've got troubles hearing you. You come and go, so I don't know what to advise to give it to you. But it's quite a problem to hear you. But I've got what you said to me. Then E222 is carried through as an unanimous vote. Thank you very much, and thank you for your comments, Councillor Ghost. Amendment of Agreement of Release Relief Measures. national state of disaster, COVID-19 pandemic, and this is for the ice cream kiosk and the coffee shop at the point, and this has been at previous council meetings, and we're here to put a stamp on this afternoon. E223, who want to give me a proposer and a seconder that we can take this off the table?
I'll propose Speaker Mark Furness.
Thank you, Councillor Mark Furness. Proposed by Councillor Mark Furness, and then seconder.
Thank you, Speaker. I'll second that proposal.
Seconded by Alderman Groenewald, and I think there will be 5 more of these. Next one, please. 224. Amendment of the agreement of reason. Yes, ma'am.
My apologies, Speaker, but can I just ask that it be noted that for item 223, 224, and 225, the ACDP is abstaining.
Carlin, will you please take note of that? 23,
Thank you,
24,
Speaker.
25. Anyone else? I'm just to bring myself on track. E224 of 11/2020, the proposer and a seconder for that one.
I'll propose Speaker Mark Furness.
Thank you,
Clark
Councillor Mark.
Boyden seconded.
Seconded by
Clark
Councillor
Boyden second.
That's E224 of 11/2020 carries through as unanimous vote, except for the note that was given to us by the ACDP. The next one, 225, amendment of agreement of relief measures, and that's on the Point Caravan Park, same as the previous ones. Do I have a proposer and a seconder?
Speaker, I proposed.
Proposed by Councillor Nicholas Boyson, and seconder.
Thank you, Speaker. I second it. Councillor Anton Delamain.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Anton Delamain. Anyone against? No one. Then E225 carries as an unanimous vote. Then the next one, 226. Sale of items on the annual auction. This is a given that every time this year we have to take the decision. Can I have a proposer and a seconder for the sale of items on annual auction at of the 2020?
Speaker, I'll propose Mark Furness.
Speaker, I second.
Mark Furness.
Speaker, it's Aniki speaking.
Thank you, Aniki. Anyone against? No one against. E226 will carry through as an unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We at E227. Appointment as a Secondary on Training Committee. Can I have a proposer and a seconder on this one?
Speaker, I propose.
The Groenewald.
Oh, no.
Who was the proposer?
No, I think it's Barney Groenewald. Sorry, it's the whip, Speaker.
No, it's fine. Thank you, Speaker. I'll second that. Thank you.
Okay, my ruling will then be E227. The proposer will be Councillor Annie Jansen van Rensburg, and the seconder will be Alderman Barney Groenewald, and this carries through as an unanimous vote. We at 228. The quarterly environment report on period ending the 30th of September. E228. Can I have a proposer and a seconder for that one?
Speaker, I'll propose Mark Furness.
Proposed by Councillor Mark Furness, and the seconder for that?
Speaker, I second it. It's Annie speaking.
Councillor Annie again. Thank you, Councillor Mark and Councillor Annie. Then E228 carries through as unanimous vote, seeing that I don't have anyone against it. 229 of 11/2020 service level agreement, Mossel Bay Municipality and Neil Liners and Associates. Tender number 51 of 2019 Municipal Finance Management Act of number 56 of 2003, section 33. Quite a lot. Can I have a proposer and a seconder for this service level agreement?
Mr. Speaker, I propose, thank you.
being proposed by older lady Vanolia Fortuin. Do I have a seconder for that?
Speaker, I second it. Speaker, I second it.
Seconded by Councillor Nicholas Boyson. I see the hand of Councillor Gous again.
Yes, Speaker, thank you. Speaker, I've got a few concerns, but before I state them, I would like to first applaud our director Nell for the tremendous work that she's doing. I understand, particularly with regard to waste management, that there is an incredible amount of legislation that governs everything she does, and so I can understand that we have need for a consultant in this regard that will take up a lot of these responsibilities in meeting the legislative requirements and so on. But Speaker, this I say with being mindful of the fact that we are trying to contain costs, and particularly with regard to consultants. So the question that I would like to ask, and my apologies that I'm asking them in council and that I never forwarded them to our director prior to the meeting, but I'd like to ask, are any of these duties that will be taken over by the service provider currently being handled by specific staff, or are we contracting in other workers to do some of these reports and so on? So will there be a cost saving somewhere else? That's the bottom line of the question that I'm asking. And then I do want to, sorry, Speaker, just quickly running through the notes that I made here. I noticed that we said that the locality criterion, which the ACDP supports in principle, but is concerned that the provincial treasury has said it's unconstitutional. We have noted in our recommendation, or in the item, that we have received legal opinion, and they are of the opinion that it's not. But unfortunately, no grounds were provided in the report as to why the legal opinion came to that conclusion. So if the MM could help me with that, I'd really appreciate it. And then also, Speaker, will we include a clause regarding cost escalations, as was a concern noted by the National Treasury? I did look through the service level agreement after reading the concerns of Provincial and National Treasury. And the two things that stood out to me that I'm concerned that we have not addressed is that regarding cost escalations. Although I did see that we said there would be a percentage increase according to professional fees, and also a CPI index on, I think it was the first item, costs. So possibly that addresses that, if the director could just ease my conscience on that. And then the other concern was, sorry, Speaker, my notes are, but there was, oh yes, the containment of costs, for example, including travel and subsistence costs. Now, one of the sections does, in the service level agreement, does say that an accounting officer must ensure that the overall cost ceilings are inclusive of all, our costs, other costs, but I don't know if that includes travel and subsistence, and perhaps we can include it in there as a specific item. And then also, what I would really like to see is a clause in the service level agreement discussing the transfer of skills, so that we're looking at a 10-year contract, well, 9.5 years, but that at the end of the 9.5 years that we would have seen a skills transfer to our personnel, and that it might then not be necessary to further continue with consultants after 10 years. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. Is there anyone that want to give answers on that one? I don't have answers on that.
Speaker, Thai speaking. Speaker, as I said, I wasn't involved in these items as they went through the mill, so I'll give the opportunity to Director Nell to respond to this.
Thank you, Eamon. Director Nell.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to make sure, because on my Teams, if your hand was risen, then everybody's hands is still on. If Mr. Prince wants to add something before some of the latter questions I can respond to, but there might be some that Mr. Prince wants to respond to. I just want to make sure whether he wants to say something first.
I just had the indication from Mr. Prince. You can go on, Director, and then if there's something else, he will elaborate on that.
Thank you, Speaker. With regards to the waste and the landfill, it's quite difficult, and I heard what the Councillor Gousa said at the end with regards to skills transfer. The problem with the landfill sites, the rehabilitation of the landfill sites, it has become so technical that the department does not accept figures, even the Auditor General, if we do not use consultants, because you have to consult with the Department of Water Affairs, of lots of others, environmental affairs, etc. They actually request that we get a specialist involved. We are managing, or will be managing, the visits by these consultants to the minimum. It will not be on a weekly or a daily basis. It will be every now and then, mainly at the end of the year when we do our calculations for the financial statements with regards to the provision for landfill rehabilitation, and when we apply for licenses, changing in licenses or renewal of licenses or closure of licenses. The big thing is the rehabilitation. As legislation changes, they are on top of how the legislation changes, we know as well, but they do the necessary in that regard. And the money that they save and the assistance they give us with the plans that we are requested to submit to provincial and national departments with regards to air quality, with regards to waste minimization, with regards to waste infrastructure plans, is extremely valuable, and most of that can be done remotely. So for travel and accommodation, it will be very minimal. We have requested that if there will be a lot involved, that there be a site office in the garden route to minimize that. But we will do a lot of these things because of GIS photos and other information available. A lot of these information will be available electronically. So it will not necessarily be needed that they travel to Mossel Bay on a frequent basis. But it will be monitored closely. It will be checked, and we report on it. We will be reporting on it to the Finance Department as well. And then just with regard to the 10-year period, we also, it was obviously placed before National and Provincial Treasury, and they know how these licensing work. If we have to every 3 years get a new consultant to assist with this, we almost start afresh. And that will be more expensive than have one person that can do the whole process with us until the licenses expire and or have to be changed and or have to be renewed. I hope I've answered all the questions. If I missed one, I apologize.
Thank you, Director Nell. I was putting you on the spot.
Speaker.
Anyone else?
Speaker.
Yeah. Comfort.
I just want to ask how much will it cost for the consultants or for this project? But or through the speaker, can I ask the Director Nell, what is the cost of this project?
Councillor, it is not. Yeah, it's not a specific project. It is for all the landfill sites in Mossel Bay. you have to have rehabilitation plans. So it includes Grootbrak, Louisville, Herbertsdale. For instance, Frimersheim and Dalmeida's landfills, that's not in use anymore. You still have to have plans for that, and now you will rehabilitate it so that it will be as if there was never a landfill site before. So it will be for all the landfill sites, all the drop-off sites. It will be a totally inclusive plan. They do not do a specific project, but if there will be a project, let's say, for instance, we are now going to upgrade a specific site. I mean, we've just done Kwanagaba, but they will also be able to assist us there to do it the most cost-effective way and the best way. And we will not need to appoint a new consultant for every project. They will be able to oversee all the waste management related projects, plans, application for fundings, approval of licenses, application for various types of things. They will be able to assist us in a professional way. So it might be that this year it will cost us 200,000 Rand for a plan. And then next year we have the plan. It only has to be reviewed in, let's say, 3 years' time. That the year thereafter, they will only do the sums for us for the provision, which will be maybe a 5,000 or a 10,000 Rand exercise. And then the year thereafter, there will be a new requirement from national or provincial treasury, and it will be maybe a 500,000 Rand that it will be for the year. So it will depend on the need, what we cannot do internally ourselves. The aim is actually to do as much as we can internally. We don't just want to spend money for the sake of spending money. So it's difficult to say at this stage what the funding or the money will be that we will be spending on the consultant. But because they are appointed for the 10-year project, we know we will not be wasting time, and we know that we will not be wasting cost because there will be, or there could be, duplications since there is only the one consultant then.
Okay, another question, Speaker, to the Director.
You're entitled to one question, so please in the future put your questions all at once and we can take care of it. I'll give you a last chance, Councillor David.
Okay, thank you, Speaker. Speaker, now I just want to ask one question. We know most consultants are eating our money. So I'm asking, was there tender out to search for more companies to do that, or was it just a blank check to one consultant for this tender?
Councillor, please mind your words. I don't like that blank check story of you.
Okay, Speaker.
Director Nel. Then
Councillor?
I see a hand of Jeanette Gous, and I saw there was a light from Thijs Kilometer, our MN. At first then, Councillor Gous.
Thank you, Speaker. Firstly, let me thank Director Nel for her comprehensive reply, as always. I really appreciate her patience. I'd like to say, Director Nel, I'm through you, Speaker. Sorry, I might have missed your answer to my question regarding whether this tender will actually be covering some other services that we're currently paying for, so that there's actually a saving in other areas that we will now no longer be making use of other tenderers or consultants or whatever. And then Speaker, my second question, which is really my big concern for the legal department, is on what grounds did the legal opinion say we are not contravening the Constitution? Because my concern for that is that should we have a comeback, we then end up in a protracted legal battle that's going to cost our municipality money we can ill afford. Thank you, Speaker. That's all from my side. If I can have those two questions answered, I'll have sufficient information to be able to apply my mind to this item.
Thank you, Councillor Gous. I saw the hand of the municipal manager. Amen. Seems to me the
Speaker, sorry. Sorry for that, Speaker. I didn't switch off my mic, so sorry for that. I'm covered with the director's now answers.
Thank you, Nim. Is there anything from legal?
Thank you, Speaker. I'm going to briefly respond to Councillor Gou's questions. If you look at the item under feedback under item 4, we provided the answers with regard to the opinion received, and basically it boils down on two criteria. Firstly, being relevance, and the second one being unfairly restriction. And according to the opinion, we met both these criteria, and locality was a fair criteria to be added to the tender. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Speaker,
Prince. I see
my apologies for...
Director Nell, have you still got something to say?
Thank you, Speaker. Yes, I just want to respond to Councillor Comfort that it was a tender that was advertised and various tenders were received and it was awarded, and after the award you go through the process.
Slight problem. Will be back online just now.
Okay. So then you go through the regulation 33 or the section 33.
Do you still have something to add?
Can you hear me?
Speaker, I think you can't hear a director now. She was replying to Councillor Comfort saying that it has been a tender that was advertised. So I'm not sure if you can hear her or not. But Speaker, thank you for the answer from...
I was. Can you start at the beginning, Councillor Gous? I couldn't hear you from the start.
My apologies. Can you hear me now, Speaker?
My apologies.
Can you hear me now?
You can go on. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaker, I think you might not be hearing Director now. She was trying to reply to Councillor Comfort's question regarding whether this contract went out on tender, and the short answer is yes, it did. It does state that in the item. But then, Speaker, I just wanted to clarify with Mr. Prince. I hear about, I've read the item about relevance and unfair restriction, but what I'm asking is on what grounds do they say that it's not unfair restriction and that it's not relevant? I'm trying to understand that thinking.
Councillor, they went through the tender document and applied their minds as to those two criteria, and they were happy and they were satisfied that those two elements were relevant criteria, and that therefore locality was a necessity.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Prince. That doesn't answer my question.
Thank you. Can we go on?
Speaker, I just want to confirm to Councillor Gous as well that because we only have one tender now, we will most definitely be cutting out some other expenses. And yes, we will use this one bidder for most of the work. They will obviously have certain divisions in their employment that will handle different parts, but yes, we will definitely save.
Thank
you so much, Speaker. I appreciate the time that you've given to this item. The ACDP supports the appointment of the consultant. Unfortunately, I will abstain because I haven't got a satisfactory answer on the legal opinion and the grounds for making it. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. I don't have any.
Speaker, I'm also against. Speaker, I'm also against.
I'll note
against it, I think.
That you also against it.
Yes.
Seeing that we don't have an proposal against it, it carries through as an unanimous vote with exception of the ACDP and the ICOSA. Volgende een alsjeblieft. We're at 230, approval of public auction held on September the 26th, I think. Yeah, at, no. 230, approval of public auction held on the 26th of September 2019. That was many moons ago. And the breakdown of assets. Can I have a proposer and a seconder that we go with this one?
Speaker, I'll propose Mark Furness.
Proposed by Councillor Mark Furness. Do I have a seconder?
I second to that, Speaker. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Councillor Mvumvu. Anyone against? If I don't hear any proposals against, E230 will then carry through as unanimous vote. Thank you, councillors. We are 231. And it's a pity that our Speaker of Gardner Road cannot be with us at this point in time. We're at 231, and that's transfers between Garden Road Municipality and the Municipality of Mossel Bay. And it's a long gone saga that came to an end now. Can I have a proposer that we accept this for main reasons why we're here this morning? And it was, can I have a proposer for acceptance of it?
Yes, Speaker, I would like to propose this item for acceptance.
Thank you, Alderman Cliffy Bayman. Do I have a seconder?
Thank you, Speaker. I'll second it. Anton de Lamine.
It's been seconded by Councillor Anton de Lamine. Anyone against? I see a hand from the mayor, from the municipal manager. MM?
Speaker, it might be very out of the ordinary, but as an official, I just want to acknowledge the big role that was played by our executive mayor in this matter. I acknowledge that as an official, I couldn't resolve this matter, and that between the two mayors, with their intervention, this matter is now before you to get to finality. So I just want to recognize the big hand of our executive mayor in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, MM. It seems me life is in trouble with the dogs try to to bite you. But
Speaker,
yeah, thank you for
Speaker,
that one. Is there anyone else on it?
Can I just say that the negotiation skills, this is what we still need to teach them, MM.
Thank you.
Negotiation.
Thank you very much, Mayor. And then the hand of Councillor Groenewald. Alderman Groenewald.
Thank you, Speaker. I'd like to say, yep, I'm still here. My first priority is still Mossel Bay Municipality. I'm sitting here, I'm standing and doing this meeting. So I'm still here, but I would also like to applaud all role players that played a part in the negotiation process. Even, our executive mayor, Memory Boyson. And I think the attitude of the various role players, negotiators, played a major role to say that we are one. Although we're two different municipalities, a type C and a type B, we are still one. We are here to serve the people to the best of our abilities within the legal framework and the mandate that the Constitution and other legislation provide us with. So my congratulations to all the role players, negotiators, our executive mayor, the staff, everyone. I think we can really give them a hand. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Alderman. And will you please, when you on the meeting today, will you please bring our thanks onto the table of the Garden Route Council meeting this afternoon? As I said, it's a long gone thing that started many years ago, and now we can say hippie hooray. Thank you very much, and please tell the people from Garden Route we accept the great gratitude there was between the two of us. Thank you very much. Then
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker.
Yes. Okay, I've got
Speaker.
now. I've got the hand of Councillor David Kamfer, and I see a hand of Councillor Gous. And yeah, then Councillor David.
Speaker, I'm not against the item. What I really want to know is of can somebody get us a card where this ground is laying, and what is the value of all that property?
Councillor, that will not be possible at this point in time, giving you a map and giving you all the areas.
Because we didn't know, yeah.
So if you put down on paper what you now ask me,
Okay.
I will see that you get the answers on that.
No problem, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Comfort. And then I saw a hand of Councillor Gous, and then I also saw a hand of the mayor. I first want to give Councillor Gous a chance. Councillor Gous.
Thank you, Speaker. I just want to also just express my appreciation that the fire station ground is now going to be in the ownership of the Mossel Bay Municipality, and that I'm certain we will then be able to make the necessary renovations to the building that we've been having to put on hold for such a long time. So also thank you to all the role players.
Thank you, Councillor Gous. Mayor?
No, Speaker, I want to say to Councillor Comfort that this is not land which actually belong to one municipality. It is land that belongs to Garden Route, but it is better situated because in Mossel Bay, and for what we want to preserve it, use it, and that is the reason why we started to negotiate about the land of Garden Route in Mossel Bay, the land of that Garden Route is using in Mossel Bay, and the land of Garden Route not being used by the municipality. But the biggest issue was the fire station, because our fire station is on the land of Garden Route, and you never know when they say your rent or what your lease is up. You must go now. Where do we go with the fire station? So that is the reason why we started to negotiate to make sure that the important land with the important assets belongs to Mossel Bay Municipality. And it is so. We had one-on-one discussions and talked about it and say who can use it the best. For whom is the is it the best? And I hope that we make deals that can actually, at the end of the day, be a profit to both municipalities. We had to give in, and we had to take. That is what happened. But the land is in the Garden Route municipality area. But let me also say, we are working the Garden Route municipality to help. They have got an office in extension 30 on the earth of Mossel Bay Municipality. But we don't do health. So, but they cannot say that it is their facility because it is on the land of Mossel Bay Municipality. Now we just made it easier by saying you are providing the service. It doesn't make sense that whilst you are providing the service, because your building is on our land, it doesn't make sense. Let us give you the land because you are providing the service. Then you can maintain your building. This is one of the examples.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Is there anyone on this? Councillor Gous, your hand is up. I think you had your chance.
Yes, Speaker, my apologies. Sure, sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Gous. We will then go on. Colin. Describe the next item, please. I'm at 232 of 11/2020, the disposal of capital assets as of November 2020. Additional items, Council of the 26th of November. E232 of 11/2020. Can I have a proposer and a seconder on the disposal of capital assets?
Speaker, I'll propose Mark Furness.
Being proposed by Councillor Mark Furness. Do I have a seconder?
Yes, thank you, Speaker. I'd like to second and wishing you well for the rest of your meeting. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Alderman. Anyone against? There's no one against. The E232 of 11/2020 carries through as a unanimous vote. Next one, please. Untitled Boysen, jou mute is nie af nie.
Untitled Boysen, nee man.
Ek is by E233. E233 of 11th of 2020, amendment of agreement of lease relief measures, national state of disaster. That's what we had this morning, and that one is a Glentana Caravan Park. Can I have a proposer and a seconder that this one can carry through?
Thank you, Speaker. I propose Anton de Lemijn.
Proposed by Councillor Anton de Lemijn. Do I have a seconder? Hello, do I have a seconder?
Speaker, I second it.
Speaker.
I've got a seconder by Councillor Nicholas Boysen. Well, very, very soft, but I did pick that up. Is there anyone against?
Speaker, the ACDP abstains from this item as well as 234. Thank you.
Thank you. Noted, Councillor. Then there's with an unanimous vote, with the exception
Speaker,
of the ACDP, carries through as an unanimous vote.
Speaker, I'm also against the item.
Okay, I'll have your names put on 233 and 234 as well, Councillor. Gaan aan asseblief 2, 3, die volgende een. 2, 3, 4, ja. Next one. Azay. E234, amendment of agreement of lease relief measures, national state of disaster, and that's the Mossel Bay zip line. We had this in the past, and we're now here for the stamp. Voorsteller en 'n sekondant asseblief.
Speaker, ek stel voor.
Baie dankie, voorgestel deur Raadslid Nicholas Boysen, 'n sekondant.
Dankie, Speaker. Ek sekondeer Anton de Lemijn.
Secondeerd deur Raadslid Anton de Lemijn. Weer noted that the ACDP and the COSA has put their names on as abstentions. The next one, please. Then, Councillor, I hope you read through this one. E235 of the month of November 2020, early settlement of Standard Bank loan, capital program 2019-2020. You all went through it and I think you made it your own. Can I have a proposer and a seconder that this one can be laid to table?
Speaker, I'll propose Mark Furness.
Proposed by Councillor Mark Furness. Seconder?
Speaker, I will second. Thank you. It's Marie de Klerk.
Seconded by Councillor Marie de Klerk. Anyone against? Anyone who
Speaker,
wants to
Councillor Gous.
elaborate on it?
Yes, thank you, Speaker. May I go ahead?
You're welcome.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, two things. Firstly, I'd like to know the projects that were going to be funded by this loan are obviously going to go on hold now while we thinking will probably go on hold until we've got new funding. If I can just get clarity on that. And then second, just of the obviously this can be a huge political fight, but there's no use in crying over spilt milk, and it's a matter of deciding what's going to be best in restricting costs or containing costs to this municipality for this mistake. And so the ACDP will support this item.
Thank you, Councillor Gous. Is there anyone else? I see the hand of the MM and I see the hand of CFO. I think on this point in time, I'll give the CFO a chance to come to light, and after that, the MM.
It's only that no projects will be delayed, Chairperson. It's because of the capital project for 2019-2020 was financed from this.
Mr. Haroff, will you please put that the date you've said? Just one, there was a little confusion. Will you please put that one right? The date of the when we will need the money of have. Sorry for that one.
It is for the past year's capital program, Chairperson, not for the. So the 2019-2020.
Okay, I copy. Thank you very much, CFO. Is there anything else?
Speaker, can I just ask for clarity? So all those projects were completed?
They were completed, yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Gous, did you hear what the CFO said?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Haroff, and then I'll ask our MM to come in.
Speaker, I'm to a large extent covered by Mr. Haroff, just for further clarity if needed by everyone. So what's happening now is that the loan is being repaid, and it's repaid from own funds. What we go out on tender again for a new loan, and obviously the own funds will then be supplemented by this new loan. So it's actually we do have enough own funds to bridge the period that we repay the loan or early settle the loan until we take up another loan. So the CFO is quite correct, and it's that it is in respect of the previous year projects, and that those projects did continue and were completed or were up to the stage where they were supposed to be. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, MM. I had it like that as well, and then I haven't had anyone against it. So this one and the number is just help me with the number. 2235 carries through as an unanimous vote. We're at the end of our meeting, except for the last one that was shifted back to the what is it, the evaluations and bonuses of the directors. I will then ask the directors to have a cup of tea, and we will go on with this one then. Thank you very much, directors. And as Alderman Barney said, we want to applaud what you did for us in this year. I think each and I don't know. Let me stop there. I think it's wonderful to be part of a municipality and the staff like the people of Mossel Bay. Thank you very much. I'm at 221 of 11/2020 performance evaluations and bonuses for the directors. Can I have a proposer and a seconder that this one can be laid to table?
Speak, I propose.
Proposed by
And then
Councillor
I
Nicholas
second.
Boyson, seconded by?
I second, Speaker.
Seconded by the mayor. Nog iemand wat waag om meteen voorstel te maak?
Yes, Speaker.
What are you the courageous one? Yes, Peter?
Yes, I don't have a problem with this item, Speaker. My only thing is this: when we hear that directors are getting bonuses, while there's a cry behind us from the workers that they were not even given COVID money, but some other departments have been given. So it becomes it's shocking actually to hear such news. So mine will be, no, it's fine for the directors for the good work they are doing. Really, there's nothing we can fight against. But it was people that we were leading outside the municipality is leading, the workers. So can someone just inform me what's going on with the workers? Who are these workers that have to be given to money? I don't know what money, but money for the COVID-19, and those who don't get. Can I get clarity on that one, Speaker? But I'm not against the evaluation and bonuses for directors.
Councillor Peter, this is not what's on the agenda this afternoon. It's only about the performance and their evaluation bonuses for the directors. It's not linked to anyone else. I will not be able to give you any answers on that one. I just can give you answers on what's before me, and that's the evaluation and performance of the, as I said, bonus for directors. I owe you an answer. I don't have an answer for you. Can we come back to 221? Is there anyone else on it? Anyone against it? Councillor Peter, we will try to get hold of what you said and try to provide you with an answer on a later stage.
Okay, thank you, Speaker.
Speaker,
Thank you.
if I may.
Yes, you may.
Speaker, I feel tired from my own voice this morning, but so I'll keep this very short.
I would have said,
so
am I, but I will not say it.
Please allow me, Speaker, to just express really a heartfelt appreciation to our directors, to our MM, and to all the staff of the Mossel Bay Municipality. They really do make us proud. I travel around all the different areas a lot, and yes, we do have areas that are still in dire need. But I would also like to mention the fact that when I do bring something to the of the administration, it is sorted out literally with this, and for that I'm extremely grateful. And so I'd like to, if I may, just express a blessing and that God may further prosper the work of their hands. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. That will then be the end of our day with E221 carries through as an unanimous vote. Councillors, it's been said by Councillor Gous. I want to say thank you for being kind to us and being a family instead of a council or a councillor with opposition. As I said in earlier morning, we're a team. Thank you for being a team. Thank you for carrying Mossel Bay on your shoulders. And with the Christmas time that's coming up, look at yourself. As our president said, my fellow South Africans, sneeze in your elbow. wear your masks and sanitize, and social distance is 1.5 meters. And tonight there will be a sermon at the, am I right, as I said, it is in the indoor center. People, there will be a lot of people showing condolences to our late councillor. Please be aware sorry, of the social distancing of 1.5 meters. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but in my mind, I will be there. I thank you, everyone, and enjoy the holiday that will be coming up in 2 weeks' time, the recess. Every one of you need it. I thank you very much for this day of the day, and that will be the end of our day. Thank you very much, councillors. Goodbye. We're signing off.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Something is happening
My
because
great colleagues.
Councillor also was very positive.